Hey everyone, welcome to day 17. I hope that you had a beautiful day, whether you went to church, whether you just stayed home, whether you meditated, whether you relaxed, whether you watched good TV, whether you spent your time on YouTube, whether you spent your time watching Netflix, anything like that. So I hope you just had a beautiful day. I personally went to church and I enjoyed it very much. So let's get started in today's reading right away. The author's name is Paul David Tripp. His book called New Morning Mercies, a daily gospel devotional. And that's what we will be reading out of. To think today, when your life doesn't work as planned, that it's out of control, is to forget that Jesus reigns for your sake and his glory. What are you facing today that you wouldn't be facing if you weren't in control? What are you required to deal with that you really wish you could avoid? Where have your plans dripped like sand through your fingers? Where would you like to take back choices and redo decisions? Where do you tend to look over the fence and wish you had someone else's life? Where do you feel troubled, inadequate, weak, defeated, overwhelmed, alienated, or alone? Where do thoughts of the past tend to flood you with regret, or visions of the future make you a bit afraid? What causes you to wish life was easier, or at least a bit more predictable? If you could change a couple of things in your life right now, what would they be? Where does it feel to you as if you're on an amusement park ride that you never intended to be on? If you're not in one of the moments I've described above, you will be someday, and you are near to someone who is. Life in this fallen world is often very hard. This world and everything in it are not functioning the way God intended. The brokenness of this fallen world will enter your door and somehow alter the trajectory of your life. In those moments, it is tempting to conclude that life is all about surviving the chaos. You feel that you don't have much power. You have been confronted with the fact that there is not much that you control, and you have no idea of what might be lurking around the corner. It all seems impossible and scary. But this is not where God's word leaves us. Yes, it does confront us with our smallest weaknesses and lack of control, but it doesn't leave us there. The Bible declares something to us that is the opposite of the way we tend to think. It tells us that the difficulties that we face every day, the seeming chaos that regularly greets us, are not the result of the world being out of control, but the result of the reign of the one who is in complete control. Paul says in Ephesians 1:22, "And God put all things under his, Christ's feet, and gave him as head over all things to the church." The explanations in brackets are mine. So the brackets that he put were Christ and God. So he was just clarifying that. Okay, reading on. So no matter how it looks to you at street level, your world is not out of control. No, it is under careful rule. As radical as the thought is, it's not radical enough because it does not do justice to all that Paul says. Paul wants you to know something else. That rule has you in view. Right now, Jesus rules over all things for the sake of his children. This is where peace is to be found. For further study and encouragement, Acts 17:22-28. Okay, so that's where we're going to go. All right, Acts 17:22-28. Then Paul stood on the midst of the Areopagus and said, "Men of Athens, I perceive that in all things you are very religious. For as I was passing through and considering the objects of your worship, I even found an altar with this inscription, to the unknown God. Therefore, the one whom you worship without knowing him, I proclaim to you, God who made the world and everything in it, since he is Lord of heaven and earth, does not dwell in temples made with hands, nor is he worshipped with men's hands, as though he needed anything, since he gives to all life, breath, and all things, and he has made from one blood every nation of men to dwell on the faces of the earth, and has determined their preappointed times and the boundaries of their dwellings, so that they should seek the Lord, in the hope that they might grope for him and find him, though he is not far from each one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being, as also some of our own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. All right, that's today's message. No side notes, so that's pretty good. And I want to say thank you for listening, and it's amazing how this every day that you read something, it just pulls you to understand what you did or didn't do, and having God's forgiveness is important. And we all fail, but we all know that God's important. We all know that God is loving, and we all know that God is endearing. I do realize that this video is not going to be 10 minutes long, and I don't necessarily feel that I need to drag it to 10 minutes. So one out of very few will be 10 minutes long, so this video really won't matter in the algorithm of all things. But anyway, I thank you very much for everything. If you're a continued subscriber, please consider hitting the notification bell if you haven't already, so that way you can get notified, and I can also get the credit for YouTube to continue. If you're a new subscriber and you liked this type of content, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the like button, and I will look forward to seeing you each and every day that I do a posting of a video in the religious type. Really thank you all, and I am very blessed to be a part of all of your lives. Remember, if regardless of who you are or what you believe, I love you. I'm here to love you because God demands it. God says love everyone. He also includes love thy enemy as yourself. So if I have a problem with you, I still love you. But I just leave all that nastiness with God. God deals with that. I may not speak to you very kindly, but I'll never purposely be angry with you even on purpose. And if I'm ever caught that way, I just know that God died on the cross for me, and things are going to be good. Today's been an interesting day, and that's why I'm all over the place. Forgive me, guys. Thank you again, and I hope to see you guys all in the future. Bye now.